here. Boom, we're now recording. Okay, great. So this is week one for CAD for construction for spring 2021 at Monroe Community College. We are going to go ahead and we're going to talk about things. And so the first thing I want to point out is next week we're going to have drawings A, B, C, and D are all going to be due. Let me show you what those are going to look like just to give you a quick idea. Here's AutoCAD. This is drawing A. It's a very simple thing. Those of you who have worked with AutoCAD, this will be a piece of cake. One thing I provided for you guys is actually templates for actually doing these. And, so basically you'll have the correct layer assignments, okay? And layer assignments are actually up here where you have dimensions and objects. You got those together. So that's, what we have as far as putting these together right here. So we got that. And that is one of the things that we have right there. So that's the first one. And then besides that, we've also got, let's see what else I have open here. Yes, and then drawing B looks like this right here. Again, pretty straightforward. And then after that, we've got drawing C, which looks like this here. And then we actually have another one, which is actually drawing D. These are the four which you're going to be doing next week, okay? Pretty simple. I'm going to go over the basics as far as how to do these. Now, as we get into these, A and B for sure we'll do, and then we'll move on to the next one. So let me do a couple things here, first of all. When you're starting with AutoCAD, and what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to close everything out, I guess. I'm going to go here and close all, and I'm going to close them all. I'm going to close out of here, save changes, no, and we're good to go. When you come into AutoCAD, it looks like this. And when you come into AutoCAD, this is called the Startup tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up a little item right here, AutoCAD Essentials. I got a little kind of a PowerPoint thing here. So, and you guys see my screen right now, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so right here, this is what we're going to start with. And the first thing you want to deal with is getting started with AutoCAD. So when you get started with AutoCAD, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your drawing environment is set up correctly. And this is all stuff that is going to be important because it will impact your effectiveness as far as how AutoCAD works. And when you first install AutoCAD, a few things are shut off that you need to turn on, okay? So I'm going to go through that with you right here. So we're going to go through this right here. So first of all, to open up AutoCAD, you double click on the big red letter A, or you can go down to programs and start it from there, like you can from any kind of Windows application. And once it's open, you're going to see the start window. So those that can right now, if you have it on another machine that's right next to you, you can go ahead and start AutoCAD, and it's going to be running right here. Now, once you're in AutoCAD right here, I've got two monitors right here. So if you guys can do monitors, you'll be at a big advantage. I'd recommend that you do that if you can, because you can put me on one and follow along on the other. It makes life a lot easier for you. So when you get into AutoCAD, I'm going to show you something here. First of all, one of the neat things about AutoCAD is when you start in AutoCAD, you have the start menu right here. You've got a few different menus here. And the menus that you've got going on here are actually located in different locations right here. So I'm going to go here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up here. And I'm going to go ahead and point it out. Right up here, you see right marked right there, that is the red letter A. And this right up here, that's the application menu. And the application menu allows you to go ahead and to basically get into some of the basic functions of AutoCAD. So you go to here, you got new, open, and so forth. New and open. So these are the main things you want to do. Either you're going to start a new drawing, or you're going to start an open, or you're going to open a drawing. Those icons that look like a sheet of paper that's dog-eared, and right here with this folder that says open, those are here, but they're also located on the quick access toolbar, which is located here. Same icons are here. So we're going to go and start a new drawing. So when you click on new, I want you to notice something here. When you start a new drawing in AutoCAD, it's always going to prompt you for a template. When you click on the new button, it asks you for a template. Now, here is the default templates in AutoCAD. Now, you could also download templates, and I have templates for all of our assignments here. And as I work on these right here, you'll actually be able to download those. I don't have those downloaded right now, but for right now, I've got acad.dwt. If I wanted a different template, I could just download it. So let me show you what that would look like. Going back out here and out here to Blackboard, out here you're going to notice that you've got CAD Basics Week 1. And with CAD Basics Week 1 right here, you've got a few things right here. You've actually got, let's see here. So you've got a few different assignments in here. AutoCAD interface tweaks. Let's see here. Maybe it's here. AutoCAD intro assignments week 2. Yeah, it's right here. Week 2. Now, let me show you something here. This is actually something that I do want to point out here. And that is this right here. What you've got going on is I go here. you're going to notice, just going to grab the arrow here. And the arrow, I'm going to point to this right here. See where it says basic drawing template? That means drawings A, B, C, D, and E. It's not for F, it's not for G, but it is for H and it is for J. So A through E. So this is the template you would use, basic drawing template right there. Can you guys see my arrow okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do then is to get this, I'd go ahead and click on basic drawing template. I click on it. Now watch what happens when I do this, it starts to download. It downloads right down here. So it downloads it typically to your downloads. You can save it anywhere. So that's the first thing you do. So then going back to AutoCAD, if I want to start drawing A, and I'll just go ahead and assume that I do want to do that. I'll do drawing A right now. And show you what drawing A looks like. And we're going to go through this. But first of all, what I'd do is I'd go back up here to new, and then it asks me for a template. Well, hey, where's the template I just downloaded? It's not here. This is the default location that AutoCAD has, and we want to look someplace else. This is where you have to look where you saved it. Typically, what AutoCAD is going to do is it's going to save it to your downloads. So you take a look and you find it under downloads, which is typically going to be up here someplace. You'd go here and look here. You may have to look here and go to you as a user, and then you go to your downloads. You go to downloads and Shazam, there it is, basic drawing template right there. So all you can do then is you double click on it and boom, now you're in business. Now, when I do this right now, you're going to notice that up here, I've actually got something that is actually available right now. And that is I've actually got layers. These actually come in and I'm ready to go. I've got an object layer, a dimensions layer, and text layer. So that's all good. Now, let me go over a couple other things here that you guys are going to have to make sure are actually working on your machine. Okay. And that is this right here. First of all, when you're working on AutoCAD, the main way that you're going to work through the interface is through the ribbon. The ribbon is this item right over here. It's all this right here. It says home, insert, tab, or rather home, insert, annotate, parametric, and so forth. All these right here, this is what you call your ribbon. Okay, so your ribbon has this right here. Now, on top of this, besides that, the ribbon is divided up into different panels. This is the draw panel. And on the draw panel, you have the basic elements such as line, polyline, circle. Then you got modify. This is where you have your basic modify commands, move, copy, rotate, mirror, scale, all that. So this is all kind of divided up. And then you've got over here annotation. This is for putting in text and dimensions. And that's all we're going to worry about for right now. So you got those, and that's how you go ahead and manipulate those. So now that I've got that right there, I want to point out something that is actually very important, and that is down here. As I go ahead and work on this right here, let me go back to this. And what I'm going to do is down here, this is an important thing under customization here. I'll go ahead and point this out again. On your screen, you're going to see down here, you see three horizontal lines. This is something you're going to have to do when you get into AutoCAD because by default, it doesn't give you everything you need. So you go down here to the three horizontal lines. We're going to turn some stuff on. Let me show you what those things are. What those things are going to be up here. We click here, and you want to turn on the following items, which are going to be, I'll go ahead and mark them off so you guys can see them if this doesn't work for me. I think it will. I'm going to go ahead and mark them if I can. Okay, try that again. Go back to here. Okay, so back to here. And let's see here. So what you're going to want here. Interesting. Okay, so we go here, and well, let me do it. Okay, so let me do that. So I'm just going to have to point them out. So back up here, the ones you want to turn on are these. So jot these down. Okay, get a piece of paper, write these down, or you can watch the video. Coordinates. You want to turn coordinates on. Watch what happens when I turn it off. Down here is your status bar, and this is where where my cursor is right now. This is actually where my coordinates are located. By default, they're not turned on, so you want to turn those on. Okay, I'm turning them on and off, so you turn your coordinates. Model space is on by default, so is grid, so is snap mode. Dynamic input, that is turned off by default, so you want to turn that on. So you turn on dynamic input. Polar tracking, that's already on by default. Line weight, good idea to have that turned on. I'm just turning that on, so turn on line weight. Down here, you also want to make sure you turn on your units right here. You turn your units on right here. And then you also want to turn, and that's going to do it right there. So again, coordinates, you want to have that, you want to turn that on. Coordinates is on. You want to make sure you turn on dynamic input. Want that on. You want line weight on, and then you want units on. Turning those on will actually give you a great advantage. And what I do is these four icons right here, I'm going to hover my cursor. What this does right here is this one, you see a picture of a plus sign in like a little prompt window. Look at my cursor. That's the plus sign. Now watch what happens. when I click and start to pull it along, I actually have put mine in like a purple highlight. That's called your prompts. Also called your also called your input, okay, your dynamic input. What it is, it's a little bit of information that follows your cursor around the screen. And it actually matches the same information that's down here on the command line. See the command line down here? See where it says specify opposite corner down here? It says it on the command line. It also says it right here. So dynamic input turns it on or off. I'm going to turn it off just to show you how this works. I turn it off and it's gone now, okay? So that means I don't see it, but it still says it down here. So your command line will carry all the information that is in your prompts and then some. So here's one of the secrets in AutoCAD. When you're learning AutoCAD, always read your command line or your prompts. If your prompts aren't clear because they don't always carry all the information, your command line will. Your command line is going to look like this. So let me show you something else here. So you want to turn that on. Here's the other thing. You're probably going to find when you start AutoCAD that your command line is going to look like something like this. It's going to be kind of floating right here. And that's fine. But what you want to do is over to the left of it, you want to click on the 2 columns of dots. And when you click on that, you can hold the mouse down and drag it. That allows you to drag objects around. Okay, that allows you to drag interface objects. So I'm going to take this and drag it. I'm going to dock it right down here. I let it go. That's the way you want it to look. You want it to look like that. So this is how we go ahead and have AutoCAD set up for us. Now, we've done a few things right now, and we have the basics right now that we can actually start to do some drawing. Let me explain a couple more tools here. This tool right here, this is polar tracking. Polar tracking actually acts like a T-square. For those of you that have worked with drywall, have you ever used a drywall T-square? Anyone out there?
Yeah, I've used it.
Yeah, if you ever used a drywall T-square, the drywall T-square actually comes from the convention of when we used to do paper drafting. Paper drafting, you actually had a T-square, you put it on the edge of your desk, and that allows you to draw straight lines. This is your T-square, only it allows you to draw at other angles as well. So let me show you something here. I'm going to leave it on, and when I start the line command, I click the line command, watch this, and when you're working with AutoCAD, what's it say right now? What does my cursor say right now?
Specify first point.
Specify first point, okay? So it's asking, hey, where do you want to go? I could type in a value, which would be a coordinate, such as an X and a Y value, or you can just pick a point. I'll just pick a point right now. Now, when I click a point, what is my command line say next?
Polar.
Okay, look at how I've got mine pulled down a little bit. Read it again. Tell me what the command line says.
Specify next point or.
Specify next point or. All right. In AutoCAD, whenever you see or, it means there's other options, but the default is just to specify another point. So right now I'm just going to pull it over here, and here's one of the quick tricks right here. If I pull it along here, you'll notice that dashed green line. See how the line is dashed right there? The dashed green line, that's called a tracking vector. And what that does, that's your T-square. That's your T-square keeping you straight right now. So I'm pulling it over to the right, and when you see that right there, it's actually keeping it at 0 degrees. In AutoCAD, 0 degrees is to the right, 90 degrees is straight up, 180 is over to, well, what would be your, over to that side, which actually would be that side, over to the left, 180, 270 is straight now. That's how AutoCAD works, but 0 is going to be to the right on your screen. So you've got that. So I'm pulling it over here to the right, and when I do that right now, I can type in a value. And if I type in a value, that's how far I'll go. So let's say I want to draw a square that's 5 inches by 5 inches. I type in 5, and then I hit and the number 5 shows up. And to get AutoCAD to accept it, I hit enter. Boom, there we are. Now check this out. I pull it up and it locks it in right here. Okay, so that is because I still have polar tracking on. But if I toggle off polar tracking, I go down to the pizza icon, which I call, it looks like a pizza. I turn that off. Now watch what happens. The tracking vector is gone. Okay, the tracking vector is gone because polar tracking is turned off. That means I'm on my own. That means I might get close. I might miss it. I might be a 100th of a degree off. That's not good. So you don't want to do that. You always want to have polar tracking on. So you want to turn that pizza icon on. You pull that up, then we type in 5 again. Okay. Now I go over here and I'm going to go over in this direction. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately type in the wrong number. Let's say I just fat finger this. I go here and I miss the 5 and I hit an 8. You know, it's like, oh man, oh no, AutoCAD sucks. You know, What am I going to do? I typed in the wrong number. I got to do it all over. Well, you don't have to do it all over again because remember, specify next point or. Well, how do I get these or options? Well, the way you do it, first of all, let's take a look at the command line. What is the first of my command line options?
Close.
Close. You see the little hand icon, little finger pointing? All right, what that's telling you right now is I can just click on close and it would complete the object I'm making back to its point of origin, where it started from. What's the next option?
Undo.
Undo. Now, this is what's called a nested undo. That means that I can undo the last line segment and only go back one line segment. So that means to do this, I can click on undo right here. So I click on undo and whoa, that was cool. All right. What if I want to do it again? Well, I click on undo again. All right. Wow. All right. That's awesome. Then I just continue on going here, 5. Then I can go back over in this direction. And the direction over here in this direction is going to be 5 again. I got that right. And now to complete it, I can then, to get these same options that are on the command line, I can right click my mouse. And they show up here too. Right clicking I find easier because you don't have to take your hand off the mouse and you don't have to move it around. So I just go here, I right click in place and choose close. Boom, done. So that is how you would complete an object in AutoCAD. That's how you do it. All right. So now the next thing I want to show you as you go through that, there's a couple tools over here on the far right that actually, they go hand in hand. You've got right here, you've got Object Snap, which is right here. That's what allows you to draw a point in AutoCAD from a geographic feature, such as an endpoint or a midpoint or a center, if it's a circle, and actually have it snap to it, which is mathematically precise to be the point that is described. So an endpoint would be actually the very end of the line. So when I've got it right here, I've got Object Snap looks like this and Object Snap Tracking. And these two should be turned on together. One looks like 2 circles, a big one and a small one. The next one looks like an alligator. So we got those right there. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go here and I'm going to check out how they're set up because this is something that's important. So you want to always check your Object Snap settings right here. So you click here and we go to Object Snap settings. When I go here, what I call these are the Fab 5. The Fab 5 are endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, and extension. You might want to take a picture of that with your camera. If you have a camera, just go ahead and take a picture of that. That's endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension. These will get you through about 90 to 95% of all the jobs you're ever going to have. And if you need more than that, you can do an override and just do a single shot snap. You can do that, which is called an override. You can do that. But for right now, these are the 5 you should have on. So always check it, make sure those are on. You hit OK. I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a pointer. I'm going to turn off midpoint just for right now. I'll turn it on in a minute. You typically want it on, but I want to make a point here. So I'm going to go to OK and leave it off. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start my line command. I'm going to go from the upper left here. I'm going to click. I'm going to pull it straight down to lower right. I'm going to click again. When I click there, when I'm done, to tell AutoCAD I'm done, I right click my mouse and then right at the top, enter shows up and I'm done. Now I could go ahead and I could click on line again and I could go up here and do the same thing, click from the upper right and pull it down to lower left. And you see when I do that, the endpoint Object Snap shows up and I'm able to do that. So what I just did there is if I zoom into it, now to zoom, by the way, to zoom into an object, to actually zoom into it, this is where you need to have a mouse. If you don't have a mouse, you can't do this with a trackpad. So it's going to be important that you have a mouse. It makes life a whole lot easier. A mouse costs $5. Get yourself a mouse. All right. So you just basically take the wheel on the mouse. Okay. You see, I've got my mouse right here. It's got the wheel. The wheel is in the center. Okay. This is what actually moves that up and down. So I do this. See my screen? It's actually zooming in and out as I move that forward. That's what your mouse does. It actually allows you to zoom in and out. All right. Now, the next thing you can do is if I hold the wheel down, I'm holding it down, the cursor becomes a hand icon and it pulls it. It's like you put it on the screen and you're able to pull it from side to side. Okay, so that's panning and zooming. Okay, so you can do those kind of things. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. Now, here's another thing I want to show you because this is something that's going to happen. If you click your mouse with no command running, AutoCAD interprets what you're doing and says, oh, Tom wants to select some objects. So I'll just give him that opportunity. I'm going to give him this green selection box. Well, the green selection box right there, basically, it's looking for something. So right now, if I pull it over, if it doesn't find anything, nothing happens. But if I click on it and pull it over here, for instance, it highlights the objects that it selects. Okay, so it selects those objects. And now it basically says, oh, okay, these grips mean these objects are selected. And at that point, you could right click your mouse and say, oh, okay, I want to erase them, I want to move them, whatever. So I can click on move and just say, yeah, let's move all these things and just do that. So a lot of this stuff is kind of set up for you already. So you click here, AutoCAD assumes you want to select something. If you click and pull it over to the right, that gives you a blue selection window, which when you click here, you'll notice that it only selects those items that are fully inside of it. Watch that top line. Not selected, not selected, not selected, not selected. Then as soon as the whole thing's enclosed, it's all selected. The same is true with all these lines, okay? Only if they're entirely inside my selection do they get selected. That's what a blue window does. Now, a crossing, on the other hand, notice that as soon as it touches something, it's selected. Okay, so it does this. So if it does this, if you don't want it to do that, just hit your escape key. Here's the key in AutoCAD. If you don't want any command and you're in the middle of it, if AutoCAD does, just hit your escape key and you're out of it. That's something you want to be aware of. Okay, now I want to draw a line going from here, from this midpoint over to here. But you notice all I'm getting are endpoints. It's finding an endpoint, finding another endpoint. Well, I don't want a stinking endpoint. I want a midpoint. So that's where you go into your object snaps and you go here and you go ahead and you turn on midpoint. Now, when I turn on midpoint, that means that's going to be available. When I hover my cursor over here now, the triangle shows up and that tells me that's a midpoint. So I click here, pull it across, and I click, right click, and then I do the same thing. I can right click my mouse, by the way, to repeat the last command, which I just did. I go here and I pull it straight down and boom, there we are. So we just drew a perfect object. And to verify that it's perfect, I'm going to click on this line and this line. When I click on these two lines, something really kind of cool happens. If I hover my cursor at the intersection, AutoCAD gives me the angle and the measurement, okay? So it's like giving you a temporary dimension of what you just drew. All right, that's by clicking on the two lines. I'll do that one more time, hit my escape key, click on this line, hover my cursor over the intersection without clicking, and it gives you measurements. Okay, so that's something you want to be aware of. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how to draw a circle. Now, a circle, the simplest way to draw a circle is with circle and choosing a center and then either radius or diameter. So I'm going to use circle, center, radius. So go here. So I'm going to click on here and click on this right here, center, and then my radius. Well, my radius would be 2.5 because that's the size of this right here. So I can drag it out here, and I can either snap to this or type in 2.5. I'll type in 2.5 and hit enter, and I have a circle perfectly in the center. I can also place circles at the sides. Go here and make those all 0.5, like that. And this is how we go ahead and begin to create some geometry pretty quickly with precision, because what's happening right now is AutoCAD is snapping to those locations, and that is how this works. So we go ahead and do this, do that, and that is what you have right there. So that is what's going on right there. And then after you've drawn a few things, I'm going to save this as, I'm just going to draw to my, I'll go ahead and drive it up, draw it out, put it out here, CAD for construction, and I'll go ahead and call this first drawing. I always like to do mine in caps. That. So I've got that. Now what I've got here is I went ahead and put this together, and that looks good, and we're good to go right there. So that's how we go ahead and put together basic shapes. That's how you go ahead and do that. So let me go back over here and just kind of review what we went through here. We talked about the different areas of the screen and how they work. We talked about starting commands with the ribbon. We talked about the command line and how the different prompts for different commands show up down there. Dynamic input, we talked about that a little bit. We talked about that if you hit the escape key, that allows you to go ahead and to cancel the command you're in. If you hit enter or space bar or you right click, that allows you to repeat the last command. So those are things you can do to do shortcuts. Locating points, you can actually click on the interface to give you coordinates. That's one approach. Another thing you can do is measuring angles. This is a review right here. You got 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 270. And then you've got the ability to open drawings right here. You can open them with the different icons like we saw before. You can have multiple drawings open at a time. You don't just have to have one or two. And then you can open and close them. And then I've got a thing about opening a drawing here. So we've got that, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to AutoCAD. And one thing I want to talk about here is I want to show you something interesting here. I'm going to hover my cursor. I just put my cursor on top of line 1. I took my hands. My hands are not on the cursor right now. And now that it's what it's doing right here is giving me a little brief description of what the line command will do. It gives me a brief description of what the line command will do. Now at this point, I'm going to hit F1. If you hit F1 right there, it opens up the help that is actually specific to that particular command. So as long as you know the name of the command, you can go ahead and type it in here. So I went ahead and typed in line command, and then it gives you explanation as far as what you do here. So you scroll down, it tells you how to use the line command. And then if you kind of forgot what the particular command was, if I click on find right here, it gives me, okay, looks like that's hidden. Okay, but this right here says the button is currently hidden behind another palette. I've got some drawing palettes up here and you can't find it. So it won't let you see it. But what it will do is it'll actually go ahead and it'll point to where that is on the ribbon. It'll actually do that, I guarantee it. I'm sorry it's not doing it right now, but let's see if I can't make it do that. Let's see, try it again. Nope, won't do that. So we can't really do that. So let's see if I close this, will it work? I don't know. I don't want to do that. So what if I do this? Try it again. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so anyway, that's something that'll help you to find out in your help. So if you need to find out anything about AutoCAD, like let's say you want to know how to use erase, you go to erase, and it gives you a listing of the different things. You go to erase command, tells you how to erase and what the icon looks like. And so all this is available. And this is how we actually use AutoCAD to go ahead and find those things. So that's a very, very helpful thing. Help, F1. F1 is the key that is actually used for most Microsoft applications. It is also true for AutoCAD. So now we got a basic idea as far as how AutoCAD allows us to go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and pull something out here real quickly. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my stack of drawings right here because I got a stack of drawings right here that I do this. Now, by the way, this is something you probably should do. You can see this right here. I've got them printed out here. Not a bad idea to print these drawings out. Okay, so now that I have this here, I've got this first drawing right now. And this is where I could actually create another drawing or do something else. But let me go back to the assignments that we have because I want to make sure you guys are really clear about this. Okay, back to here. So what is due for week 1? Okay, AutoCAD intro assignments is right here. And the different week 2 CAD files are actually live here. I think so. Let me see. 2 CAD files. No, not there. Let me go back to here. Let's see here. Okay, where are I have these AutoCAD intro assignments. Okay, this is the AutoCAD intro assignments. This is actually a PDF. So what I recommend is you go to AutoCAD intro assignments. When you open this, it's going to give you a listing of all of these drawings right here. Just what I showed you, the stack of drawings right here. The first one is, as I'd mentioned, is this one right here. So I've got this one. I'm going to download that real quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and when I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it to the desktop. And then I'm going to go ahead and open it. So when I open this, it opens it up in a file that actually makes it a little bit easier to work with. And let's see here if I can deal with that. And yeah, it's not giving me the right thing, but that's okay. So I can go here and I can go ahead and rotate this counterclockwise like that. Okay, there's drawing A. So drawing A is pretty straight. Drawing is pretty straightforward. So when you're working with AutoCAD, I'm going to show you how to do drawing A and drawing B. We'll do C and B next week. We'll do C and B next week, but because I don't want it, we've been taking a little bit longer than I planned on. So we're going to work on drawing A and B. So let me show you these. This will be really very much review for all you guys, but for some of you guys rather, others it's going to be brand new. So let me show you how we do drawing A. And again, I have this in a few places on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I've got this in a few places. This is drawing A. So take a look at drawing A. You're going to notice that what is the color of drawing A?
Blue.
It's blue. And what color are the dimensions?
Red.
They're red, and then there's text, which is black. Okay, so there's 3 layers that involve in this. So I'm going back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. First, I'm going to close out a first drawing, and I'm going to create a new drawing, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Go to New. It asks me for a template. I'm going to go back out to the same location that I just went to, which is going to be, for me, my downloads, because that's where I was before. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to choose my downloads. And you guys like just pay attention to where it saves it for you. But now all the dimensions, all the layers and all the dimension styles and everything's all set up. So what I'm going to do right now is how do I draw this? Well, let's go back to here and let's get a little bit of a review here. Because I went ahead and opened that up. And it should be out here. There it is. Okay, so I got drawing A right here. So when I got drawing A right here, what I want to do is the overall distance. What's the overall distance of this bottom line? What would the overall distance be?
8. 7.
8. It's 8. 6.5 plus 1.5 is 8. And then I go up how far? How far up?
4.
4.
Yep. And then over how far?
1.5.
Yep, it's 1.5, then it's 1.5 down, and that's 2.75. I'm just giving you that 2.75 on this side and 2.75 there, and then 1.25, 1.25, 2.75, and then down. Okay, so that's all it is. So I'll just draw that for you real quick. So I start my line command. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I click here, and my first dimension I'd said was 8. So I go to 8, and then I go up 4, and I'm just pulling my cursor up. You just pull your cursor up, and then you type in the particular dimension. All right, and I'm hitting my enter key. That's what that sound is. 1.5, and then down 1.5, and then over 2.75, and then down 1.25, and then over 1, and then up 1.25, and then over 2.75 again. And then to complete it, I can right-click my mouse and choose close. So I do that and close it. And that is how I go ahead and put that together, okay? And then also on the sheet, you're going to see that there are the dimensions you see right there. Dimensions are easy to put in. I've already set them up for you. So what you do is we just go ahead and go up here to linear. We choose linear, and then I can just go ahead and pick on the different points. 0.1, 0.2, and then where you want it to go. Oops, but it turned out the wrong color. Why did it do that? Well, it's still using the object layer. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to change this. When an object's selected, you can do that, but I don't have it select. I'm just going to erase it. So I click, by the way, to erase an object, you click on it. And then when you click on it, you can either hit your delete key on your keyboard or right click, and then just choose erase. So they both work that way. So let me do that again. Pick here, and we do that. Then I can right click and repeat that. And I'm going to go from 6.5 here up to here, like that. And then we'll go ahead and go to here. Same thing, here to here. And I'm just moving right along here. And at your very first prompt, you can hit your enter key, and then that allows you to go ahead and pick directly right on top of it. That's something that's a little shortcut. So at your first prompt, you hit the enter key if you just want to grab the object. And then the last little bit here is going to be here. We'll go here and pull it across. Then we'll do one more here, and that will do it. Okay, then the last thing we want, now that we have that in place, the last thing is put in some text. So I have those together. I put in some text. So I go here and I go to text. And my text, to put that in, I would go ahead and use this tool, multi-line text. Now here, what I'm going to do is it asks you to make a rectangle. So I pick here and pick there, and I go ahead and type in drawing A, like that. I click, and that's it. So that is how you go about drawing this first object, okay? So I'm going to save it as now. So to save as, it looks like a floppy disk with a little stubby pencil on it. So I click there. And what I want to save, I'm going to go ahead and save this. First of all, I'll save it out here, and I'm going to call it drawing A. Now here's something you want to do. Drawing A, always do it this way. Always, always, always. Put it in like this, drawing A with a dash, and then your last name, all in capitals. B-R-E-N-N-A. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you this right now. I am a real stickler for this because document management in AutoCAD is a real important thing. You can't just put in anything you want. You don't just guess. You don't put your first name last if you're supposed to put your last name first. You don't do it that way. This is how it should look every time. So much so that I'll take 10% off any assignment that doesn't save it in this proper syntax. I'm a stickler about this, all right? It's not hard, but you want an easy 10%? Just spell your name. Spell your name. It's not hard. All in caps. It's not hard to do. So there it is. You put your name in, and then you hit save. Boom, done. That was easy enough, okay? So you've got that. Now, when it's done, how do I submit it? Well, what you do is this. You go back out to Blackboard, and when you go to Blackboard right here, what you would do is you go out here, and for let's see here. For week 2, you're going to see that this is where your assignments are. Right up here, this is where you would actually, right here, this is where you would submit them, right here. This is where you complete drawing A and upload it here. So it says it right here. Complete drawing A and upload it here. So and then it says right here how to save it. Drawing A with your name. Okay, now the DWG, by the way, that's going to be done automatically. You don't have to type in DWG. It's going to put that in. So when you save something, AutoCAD automatically supplies those last 3 letters. That's called a file extension. It's going to do that, so you don't have to do that. So it's drawing A like that. Now, when I want to submit it, I just go to here, I click there, and it says, okay, where is it? Well, you go out here and you browse out for it. You browse out to find it. In this particular case, I saved it to my, okay, saved it out here to my Monroe Community College folder. Okay, right there. And then we got right here, CIT, and then I got CAD for construction spring, and there it is, drawing A. So I grab it there. It gives me a preview over on this side. I hit open, and I go ahead and do that, and then I hit submit, and it's going to give me an error most likely because, yeah, submission from previewed assignment is not saved. Now here's the reason why. I can't do it because I'm not a student. It won't let me do it. You are students. It will accept yours. So that's how you do it. That's how this class works. Everything you do, it'll go that way. It's not difficult. All right, just that. You get done with it, you save it, you upload it. Make sure you get your name correct. It's not hard. Just make sure that you do it. So that's drawing A. We're going to do drawing B, just to make sure we're clear on this. So to do drawing B, I'm going to close out of this and close out of there. And to make drawing B, we go back out here, we go to new, asks us for a template. We go back out here to where we've gone before. We go to Thomas Brennan, go to the downloads. And again, there it is again. Basic drawing templates right there. All my work is done for me. And now for this one, I'm going to do drawing B. Now drawing B is pretty much the same kind of a thing, only it's got little different jogs and so forth in it. So not terribly difficult. Looks like this here. So for this one, the overall distance is what?
7.
Yep,
7.
Yep, so it's 7 inches. Then you go 4, and then over 1, and then down 1, then over 0.5, and then down 1, and then over this distance, ooh, you have to do some math, 2.5, then up 1, then over 1, down 2, over 1, down to completion. So that's all that is. Okay, so all these, again, you should print these up so it's easier to do it. You can work with them off a PDF on your screen, or you can go along with the video when you're all done with it, but that's what we're going to have there. So I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go back here. I'm going to draw this. Okay, so I've actually got this printed in front of me, so I'm going to draw it up. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go and just go ahead and draw this. So over here, 7. And again, before I get into all this, I want to just go ahead and just make sure we're clear on this. Always make sure that you've got the 4 horsemen turned on, the 4 horsemen of the CAD apocalypse. So you got dynamic input, polar tracking, object snap tracking, and object snap. You want to have those on. Okay, so once you have those on, you go ahead and start. And I did that first one at 7. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue with my line going here. And I'm going to start over again just to get started so I can use my close. So I'll go here, I go here, and I go over 7, and then up 4, pull out 4, then over to the left, and that's going to be over 1, and then down 1, then over 0.5, and then down 1, and then over 2.5. Yep, and is that right? No, 3.5. Yeah, it's supposed to be 3.5. So I'll go ahead and back here and do 3.5. Caught myself there, and then I go up 1, and then over 1. And so the thing I'm trying to get you guys to really recognize here is just that everything in AutoCAD is precision, and you just want to get used to being successful. That's the biggest thing. So once you got this in place, you do the same thing. You change your current layer to dimensions, and then we go ahead and put on these dimensions. So I'll go ahead and place these. And as I'm placing these right now, you get the idea. I go up here and I pull that up, 7. And I go ahead and continue with this right here and going to this one right here, going from here to here. And that's 6. And then doing this again, going from here to here. And that's 5.5. And then I'm going to just right click and go here. And then we'll go ahead and do this next one, going from here to here. All right. And then we'll go from, we'll just do this. All right. And then we're just about there. All right, if your dimensions don't quite match up, that's okay. You can just kind of take it, you can click on it, and you can drag it over like this. Okay. Give yourself a little bit of room, and it should look like that when you're done. Last step, you change your layer. So make sure we're doing good here. All right. Yes. Okay, I had a question right here. All right, does the line automatically go to the scale of measurement? When you're drawing in AutoCAD, everything you draw is full scale. So yes, you don't have to worry about that right there. And it looks like Andrew said, if you hit enter or click without entering a value, if you hit enter or click without entering a value, yes. Okay, those will all work. That's right. That's correct. That is correct. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different things I'm not covering right now, just because, you know, I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but there's a lot of shortcuts that I'm not covering right now, but there's quite a bit right there. Okay, so next one, last one is right here, and I'm going to go here, I'm going to click there, and I'm going to go ahead and type in drawing B, like that. I'll click there. And then once I've done that, I'll save it as drawing B with my last name. So D-R-A-W-I-N-G, B, E-N-N-A, like that. Save that. Boom, we're good to go. And so that's what we have right there. And looks like I had a question here. Make sure we're good to go here. Is your background supposed to be black? Yeah, Jordan, it typically is black or a very dark gray. Is yours white? Is that the idea? Have you got a white background there, Jordan?
Oh, it's like bluish gray.
Bluish.
Like it's the default one. Even though I opened the template, it's still not black.
Yeah, it should be. Do you want to share your screen real quick?
Yeah, I'll share it. It's disabled.
All right, let me do this. Let me go ahead and make sure you can share it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, go ahead. You should be able to do it now.
Like I even restarted my whole drawing, and it's still.
Yeah. No, that's actually that's a dark gray. That is the default color right there that AutoCAD has. So that's actually okay. That's fine. That's how AutoCAD does things. So no problem there. Can you go ahead and make me the I think I can take it back over, I think. Let me see here. Guess not. Can you go okay, go ahead and pop out of there, and can you make me the host again?
All right.
I think you have to do that. I'll reclaim host. There we go. All right, I think I'm back. Okay. Can you guys see my screen again, guys?
No.
No? Okay, let me share my screen. All right, make sure we're good to go here. Hope we didn't lose it. Shouldn't have. Let's see here. So yours is over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is how we go about doing that. Now, by the way, if your screen is not a inky black, you can make it inky black by this. Let me show you this, because I prefer this too. So to do this, you right-click your mouse. This is actually something kind of cool. Right-click your mouse, and when you right-click your mouse with no command running, and by the way, always look down here at the bottom of your screen to verify that no command is running. Okay, and here's what I mean by this. There's a reason why I'm saying this. Down here at the very bottom part of your screen right here, let's see here, okay, right here. Okay, down here. At the very bottom part of your screen right here, let's see here, what I was going to talk about. Okay, so, okay, I was talking about this. Okay, talking about that. Okay, well, you've got this right here, but, okay, well, we'll move on from there. Okay, we'll move on from there. But to go ahead and change it, you right-click your mouse, and when you right-click your mouse, you're able at that point to go ahead and to go to options. Now, when you go to options, options is going to bring this up right here. You'll see options. Okay, now when you see options, the second tab from the right is display. Second tab is display. And from there, you can go to colors. And from there, from colors right here, you can actually go up here, 2D model space, uniform background right here. You can go ahead and take that and make it a different color. If you click down here, you'll see there's not a true black, and then there's an actual black. So you scroll down to see black, click on that, and that'll give you a really good, real good background for that. That's how you go ahead and make that. That's just something that you want to be aware that you can do right there. So that is how you would go ahead, and that's how you go ahead and do these two drawings right there. So that's where we're going to stop right now. We'll stop with that because I want to give you guys a chance to go ahead and work on that. So that's drawing A, that's drawing B. And I'll just give you guys some time to work on that. We'll work on C and D next week, but we're just going to park it right there. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the video because that's all we're going to share for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and stop.
Professor,
Yeah.
I actually have a question. So you said to undo one of the lines that we did, like let's say it was a mistake or was the wrong dimensions. So I tried using the escape button and it kind of like erased the whole connected line.
You mean using undo?
Yeah, to like undo a line because it kind of went the other direction.
Yeah, let me show you. Let me show what I mean. Okay, let me show you that because that does happen. So if you're in here, if you're drawing a line, and let me show you that again. And you do this. You're in the line command, and you're drawing it right here. Okay, so I draw a line from here to here, and then I draw a line from here to here. Okay, and I'm over here, and I type in 8 accidentally like that. Okay, so now while I'm in here right now, while I'm in the command, I right click and I go to undo while I'm still in the command right there. Okay, that is how you go ahead and do that. So you go ahead and all right, and okay, so that is how we do that. Okay, so let me back out here. So if I make a mistake, I'm able to go here and right click and go to undo. And then if I go over here and type in 5, and then if I close it, that's all good to go. Now, if I use undo up here now, this is another undo. If you use undo here now, it gets rid of the whole thing. It doesn't just get rid of the last segment, it gets rid of the whole thing. So that's the difference. There is in the line command, the polyline command, and there's a number of other commands that actually do the same thing, where they actually have an undo function nested in the command itself, which allows you to undo and remain inside a command. Remain inside a command. If you finish and you get out of the command, then the undo gets rid of the whole thing. I'm just using redo right here. So you got undo, which is right here. It's the arrow to the left, and redo, undo and redo. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. I'll highlight it so you guys can see it. Right up here, you've got undo, which is this arrow to the left. And then you've got, so if I click on that, it undoes it. And then if I go ahead and go to the arrow to the right here, I can redo it. Right there, I can redo that. So I go to there, and I go ahead and hit redo, and it'll bring it back. All right, so that's how we go ahead and make that work. That answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
So next week we just have drawing A and B due.
You want to hand them in before class. That means before 6 o'clock, you've handed them in. So whether you draw them right now or do them some, these won't take you long at all. So for those that are brand new to AutoCAD, it'll take a little bit longer. I just want you to get your C legs, make sure you feel good about this. And then next week we're going to turn the volume up. We'll tighten the screws. We'll get a little bit further each time. So that's what we're going to do. So just A and B for next week. I know I put C and D. I'll correct it. So it's just going to be A and B for next week. So does that help?
Yes, thank you.
All right. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is at this point, I will go ahead and let's see here. I think I did. Yeah, I'm going to go here and I'm going to stop